Today's headline is about South Africa intensifying deportations of undocumented migrants due to rising economic pressure and public frustration. Hello, welcome back to the channel. This is a video and picture news about the government's renewed efforts to address undocumented migration, the scale of last year's deportations, and what this means for communities across the country. Make sure you watch till the end so you can see the sources and verify the news for yourself. South Africa has faced mounting economic challenges, including high unemployment, strained public services, and growing frustration from citizens who feel that undocumented migrants are placing additional pressure on already stretched resources. Last year alone, authorities deported approximately 51,000 individuals, and this year the numbers are expected to rise as the government enforces stricter measures. The tension is particularly high in urban centers where the visible impact of undocumented migration is most acute, with residents reporting competition for jobs, overcrowded clinics, and pressure on schools. Officials stress that the deportations are carried out according to law, but for many communities, the sight of immigration officers and law enforcement agents in their neighborhoods creates an atmosphere of anxiety. Residents have expressed mixed feelings. Some support the government's efforts to restore order, while others worry about the human cost and the treatment of migrants who have built lives in South Africa. The first moments of enforcement often bring heightened tension, as neighbors and communities gather to observe what will happen, sometimes fearing conflict or unrest. Government representatives explained that the current wave of deportations is part of a broader strategy to manage migration more effectively while addressing public concerns about safety, employment, and social services. Officials are coordinating with the Department of Home Affairs to identify undocumented individuals, process their cases, and return them to their countries of origin where appropriate. Public awareness campaigns have also been launched to inform communities about legal migration channels and the consequences of remaining in the country without proper documentation. The economic argument is central to this policy. Many South Africans argue that undocumented migrants compete for scarce jobs, depress wages, and exacerbate poverty in already vulnerable communities. On the other hand, migration advocates caution that many migrants perform essential roles in the informal economy, agriculture, and domestic services, and that deportations must be handled humanely and legally to avoid humanitarian crises. The government has emphasized that all actions are intended to comply with both national and international law, including rights to due process and fair treatment. Communities across the country have responded with a mix of support, concern, and debate. In some areas, residents have staged peaceful demonstrations to highlight the challenges of undocumented migration and to encourage authorities to act. In other areas, there is apprehension about how these deportations will affect families and local businesses that rely on migrant labor. The tension is heightened by the fact that migration issues often intersect with broader social challenges, including housing shortages, access to health care, and safety concerns. Last year's figures, 51,000 deportations, serve as a stark reminder of the scale of the government's previous operations. Many of these deportations involved individuals who had overstayed visas or entered the country illegally, and they sparked intense public debate about fairness, legality, and human rights. Officials note that repeat offenders or those who refuse to comply with legal processes may face additional consequences, but they insist that enforcement is conducted professionally and with oversight to prevent abuses. Community leaders have called for transparency in the process. They want residents to understand the criteria used to determine deportation and to ensure that families are not unfairly separated. Municipal authorities have also emphasized the importance of reporting illegal activities through official channels, discouraging vigilante actions, and fostering cooperation between law enforcement and communities. The government's goal is to maintain social cohesion while enforcing immigration laws. Economic analysts suggest that the pressure to deport undocumented migrants stems in part from the broader context of South Africa's economic challenges. High unemployment, inflation, and limited public resources create competition for jobs and services, which can fuel public frustration. By enforcing deportations, the government hopes to reduce perceived and real competition for employment and social resources, but the strategy carries risks, including possible social unrest and criticism from human rights organizations. Many South Africans follow the news closely, especially as media coverage highlights the tension during enforcement operations. Images of border checkpoints, municipal inspectors, and immigration officers at local neighborhoods create a heightened sense of urgency and sometimes fear. Residents are encouraged to verify news through trusted sources and to remain calm and informed while enforcement takes place. In towns and cities where deportations are occurring, some migrants have expressed anxiety about the process, particularly those who have established homes and small businesses in South Africa. Officials emphasize that deportations target individuals without proper documentation and that lawful residents are unaffected. Still, the uncertainty has led some to seek legal advice or assistance to ensure their rights are protected. Despite the gravity of the issue, there are lighter moments that show the resilience and humor of South Africans even in tense situations. In one community, a resident joked that the immigration officers might as well check who is sneaking extra servings of bunny chow while they are at it. Others made playful comments about how even the local cats seem nervous during the inspections. These small moments of levity do not diminish the seriousness of the situation but reflect the human capacity to cope with tension and uncertainty. Authorities continue to stress the importance of community cooperation, proper documentation, and legal compliance. Residents are reminded that providing information, following official guidance, and engaging constructively can help ensure that deportations are conducted smoothly and fairly. Officials also encourage migrants to come forward voluntarily and regularize their status where possible, reducing the risk of forced deportation and ensuring their rights are protected. For viewers who want to stay updated, subscribing to the channel provides timely coverage of developments in migration enforcement, economic pressures, and community responses. Our news is presented in a natural South African voice, grounded in verified facts, with the aim of keeping residents informed and engaged. Watching until the end allows you to verify sources, understand context, and gain a fuller picture of the evolving situation. All images used in this video are for illustration purposes only. Sources for this news include statements from the Department of Home Affairs, government press briefings, community eyewitness accounts, and local South African media reports.